Hey yo, what's up my YouTube fam? Got another story for y'all. And this one is about the time my friend lost his virginity. Now if you're asking why I would bring something like this up, well, it's kind of significant to me. And the reason why it's significant to me is because I almost got killed that day. And then my friend lost his virginity. I mean, it was like so close, maybe about 10, 15 seconds apart. So the story begins, it happened on a Friday, if I remember right. I was 12, and I think my friend Chris, he was 11. And if y'all don't remember who Chris is, after this video, go check out my most embarrassing moment. So, Chris and his grandpa had to go and tag a newborn calf's ear. So what they do, they have a long hook, and they use that to hook him right by his leg, pulls it towards him, gives him a shot, tags his ear. Well, we had to do that, and he was doing good. He did like 4 of them, but there was one newborn calf that he had to get. We spent most of that evening trying to catch that thing, and we would go in a small pickup truck. We would sit in the back and ride along. Well, we got out one time, and we thought it was a good idea to go running around. So we run around, and I could hear Chris's grandpa hollering, "Dat bull's coming!" And we're like, "What?" And he realized we were at that truck. He says, "Guys, dat bull's coming!" And I'm trying to head back to the truck. That bull is already coming, full speed at me, charging. So I'm screaming at the top of my lungs like Macaulay Culkin on Home Alone. And that bull, I swear I locked eyes with that thing. And it's just charging, picking up the pace. It looked like that bull off that one that's always trying to go after the Looney Tunes. And it's kicking up dust from all the running. And I swear I see, the dust and stuff. It looked like smoke breathing in and out of his nose as it charges. And it's going like this, like that. And I'm still screaming at the top of my lungs. I didn't know where to run. At that moment in time, I was so paralyzed in fear, I forgot how to run. All I could do was just scream at the top of my lungs. And that thing's charging at me full speed, and I'm just screaming loud as I can. For some miracle, it decides to run around me. It misses me. It could have just ran into me. Who knows what would have happened. But it decides to run around me the last few seconds. And then I turn around because I'm trying to figure out what happened. I'm like, what? Why did it just, why did it just run around me? Do I have a guardian angel watching me? Meanwhile, it's like a little hill. And Chris is coming up there, and I'm trying to warn him. And Chris is coming up that hill. He looks up, and that bull just tackles him right on. Boom. Like Chris was a linebacker or something. Next thing you know, I see Chris. Chris is he was a bony kid. So when he got hit, all I could hear is that, "Ah!" And then I hear a howling. Like, it was weird. And I was like, oh shit, because I was thinking, did he get killed? Meanwhile, his grandpa looks at me. He says, "You motherfucker." And he hits me with that long ass hook. Hits me in the back of the leg. And the bolt that holds it together gave me a little cut right under, right above my calf, almost, behind the knee. And that hurt. I could barely stand. And after that, I could barely walk, but I was shocked from almost getting trampled. Then I got hit by his dumbass grandpa because he was pissed off because we got out of the truck. And then Chris was coming back. He was okay, but he was crying, When I heard him get hit, I heard him scream and like a howl. And he's come back walking, barely walking. I mean, obviously he got trampled by a fucking bull. But his grandpa tries to swing again. I didn't want to get hit again. So we get in the truck and I'm barely moving my leg. And he tries to hit us again, but we're in the back of the truck and that hook's too long, so he couldn't hit us. He was pissed off. you know, eventually though we got that, that calf. We tagged his ear and all that, but that bull almost chased us down again. But we got away, and when I got back home, I was trying to keep a secret, but my grandma was like, "Why are you limping?" I finally told her, and she cleaned up my wound. And she says, if it hit you any higher, it would have got you an artery. And I still have a scar on the back of my legs from it. It's small now, but as a kid, it was underneath, like right in the back of my knee. It was underneath. When I grew up, now that scar is just right in the back of my knee. But it's a reminder though. And a year later, me and Chris, we talked about it and we laughed. To us, it's funny. It's the funniest thing in the world, but it wasn't funny then. But Chris told me when he got trampled, that bull stepped on his butt. And it stepped on his crack. And for like a week, he says when he had to wipe his ass, he'd bend over and spread his cheeks because from the hooves, stepping on his butt, it skinned both of his cheeks. So he says every time he wiped his ass, he'd stand up, spread his cheeks, make sure, he can wipe good. And when he showered too, same thing. So that explains why when he got trampled and disappeared underneath the hill and all the dust was around, that explains the howling, because he kind of howled like, oh, kind of reminds me of that old Cookie Crisp commercial where that guy howls Cookie Crisp, except that day the bull took his cookie. So I always tell Chris, so that was the day you lost your virginity. He starts laughing. He's like, fuck you.